You try to do everything exactly right. You drink the dark green juices, you hide the salt shaker in the back of the cabinet. You force down the big bitter salads because the magazines, the morning television shows, and the health blogs all tell you that this is how you protect your body after 60. But then you wake up feeling completely exhausted. Your legs feel heavy, almost as if you're walking through deep water. Your rings feel a little too tight on your fingers. You look in the mirror and feel tired down to your bones. You tell yourself this is just what getting older feels like. You tell yourself to just push through it. But what if it's not just your age? What if the exact superfoods you're forcing yourself to eat every single day are the very things quietly overwhelming your system? My name is Dr. William, and welcome to Senior Health Sessions. Today, we need to uncover a hidden contradiction sitting right on your kitchen counter. Sometimes the thing making your kidneys struggle is not the junk food you already know to avoid. It is not the processed sugar. It is the vegetables you still believe are medicinal. Today, we are going to look at 5 silent vegetable stressors that place an invisible, heavy workload on aging kidneys. Notice I did not call them poisons. Vegetables are not toxic. But when your internal filtration system changes with age, the way your body handles those vegetables must change too. And because I will never take something away from you without giving you something better, we will also walk through 4 comforting, kidney-safe vegetable alternatives, a visual rule for your dinner plate, and the exact words you need to use at your next doctor's appointment. But first, we have to talk about what your body is trying to tell you. Have you ever sat on the edge of your bed, taken off your socks at 8 o'clock at night, and noticed deep red lines pressed into your lower calves? Have you ever noticed a faint, strange, metallic taste in your mouth right before breakfast, almost as if you had a penny resting on your tongue? These are not just random quirks of getting older. These are signals. Your kidneys do not have pain receptors in the way your joints do. When your knees are failing, they ache. When your lower back is stressed, it shoots a sharp warning signal up your spine. Your kidneys do not operate that way. They suffer in absolute silence. When they are overwhelmed, they cannot send a sharp pain to your brain. Instead, they send secondary signals. Because they cannot filter out the waste and the water fast enough, that excess fluid obeys gravity. It sinks. It pools in your ankles and your feet. That metallic taste in your mouth? That can be a very subtle sign of microscopic waste products building up in your saliva because they were not swept out through your urine. Before you feel fear, I want you to feel a sense of relief. You are not broken. You are just operating an older machine. Think about how a simple coffee filter works in your kitchen. When that paper filter is brand new, you can pour a massive carafe of hot water into it, and the liquid rushes straight through. The coffee drips down fast and clear. But what happens if you use a coffee filter that is a little older, a little thicker, or already holding on to some weight? If you pour a massive wave of water into it all at once, it cannot keep up. The water backs up. It pools at the top. If you pour too fast, it eventually spills over the edges and creates a mess on your counter. Inside your kidneys, you have millions of microscopic filtering tubes. They are called nephrons. You can think of them as your body's personal coffee filters. When you were 30 years old, your nephrons could handle an absolute flood of heavy minerals and plant compounds. They processed it all instantly. But after 60 years of continuous, non-stop pumping, some of those nephrons naturally slow down. Some of them retire. The ones that are left are still working incredibly hard for you, but their flow rate has changed. They're like that older coffee filter. They can still make the coffee, but you have to pour the water in gently. When you eat massive quantities of heavy, complex vegetables, you are pouring a gallon of water into a slow filter all at once. It backs up. It spills over into your bloodstream. So what are these heavy vegetables? Let us look at the first hidden stressor. Number 1 is raw kale, specifically when you put it in a blender. Everywhere you look, someone is telling you to drink a green smoothie. Kale is marketed as the ultimate anti-aging miracle. And if you have a perfectly robust 30-year-old filtration system, it is a highly nutritious plant. But raw kale is loaded with a natural defense mechanism called oxalates. I want you to picture oxalates as tiny microscopic plant crystals. They look and act a lot like microscopic Lego bricks. When a few of them float through your bloodstream, your kidneys sweep them out easily. But when you pack 3 cups of raw kale into a blender, you are doing something dangerous. You are using steel blades to completely obliterate the plant's cell walls. You are releasing a massive, overwhelming dump of these tiny plant crystals all at once. You drink that smoothie in 5 minutes. When that massive wave of crystals hits your slower coffee filter, they do not flush through. They get stuck. And because they act like Lego bricks, they start to lock together. One crystal binds to calcium, then another locks onto that, and another. Before long, you have the foundation of a very painful kidney stone, or at the very least, a heavy abrasive burden on your nephrons. The danger is not chewing a small kale salad. The danger is the mechanical destruction of the blender, which tricks your body into swallowing 5 times the normal amount of oxalates in a matter of minutes. Do you have a blender sitting on your kitchen counter right now, ready for tomorrow's morning drink? If your doctor has ever mentioned your kidney function, it might be time to put that blender away. Number 2 is winter squash and pumpkin. When the weather gets cool, nothing feels more comforting than a warm bowl of roasted butternut squash, acorn squash, or a thick pumpkin soup. It feels like a safe, soft, harmless food. It is easy to chew, easy to digest, and feels wonderful in the stomach. But winter squashes carry a totally different kind of hidden burden. They carry a massive load of a heavy mineral called potassium. Potassium is not evil. In fact, it is essential. Potassium acts as the electrical spark plug for your heart. It controls the electrical rhythm that keeps your heart beating at a steady, reliable pace. But here is the detail most people miss. Your kidneys are the sole regulators of that electricity. If you eat a massive bowl of heavy squash, your blood fills with potassium. A healthy kidney senses the excess and immediately filters it out into your urine. But if your nephrons are slow, that heavy mineral load stays in your blood. It circulates back up to your chest. And when too much potassium surrounds the heart, those electrical spark plugs start to misfire. Your heart rhythm can become erratic. This is a very serious, invisible threat. You do not have to banish squash from your life forever, but you must stop treating it as a free vegetable. It is not a light side dish. It is a heavy electrical mineral load, and your portion sizes need to reflect that reality. Number 3 is celery juice. Over the last few years, a massive trend has convinced older adults that running stalks of celery through a juicer every morning will cure everything from joint pain to brain fog. This is what I call the concentrated liquid trap. When you eat a whole stalk of celery, you have to chew it. Your stomach has to break down the tough, stringy fiber. That fiber acts like a series of speed bumps on a highway. It slows down the release of the plant's chemicals into your bloodstream, giving your kidneys plenty of time to filter everything at a manageable pace. When you run that celery through a juicer, you throw all the fiber in the trash. You remove every single speed bump. You are left with a highly concentrated glass of liquid sodium and oxalates. When you drink it, it bypasses digestion almost entirely. It slams into your bloodstream like a freight train. Your slow coffee filter is suddenly hit with a tsunami of concentrated plant chemicals. The body has to panic to restore balance, pulling resources from other areas just to handle the sudden flood. Drinking your vegetables is rarely gentler on your body than chewing them, especially when your internal filters need a slow, steady pace. Number 4 is sun-dried tomatoes. Many people love adding these to pasta, salads, or putting them on a cracker with cheese. They feel sophisticated and healthy, but think about what a sun-dried tomato actually is. It is a normal vegetable that has had all of its natural water sucked out of it by the sun or an oven. Water is nature's great diluter. A fresh slice of tomato has a moderate amount of minerals, but it is mostly water. When you dehydrate it, You shrink the size, but you do not remove the minerals. You just pack them closer together. Eating a small handful of sun-dried tomatoes is the mineral equivalent of eating 6 or 7 whole, large tomatoes in a single sitting. You would never sit down and eat 7 giant tomatoes at the dinner table. You would feel sick. But because the sun-dried versions are so small, you can easily eat that equivalent amount without realizing it. You are dropping a dehydrated mineral bomb directly into your system. When those concentrated minerals hit your bloodstream, your kidneys have to scramble to find enough internal water to process them. They have to pull hydration from your skin, your joints, and your tissues just to dilute the sudden concentration. It is an exhausting process for an aging body. Number 5 is sautéed beet greens. Many smart, frugal cooks know that when you buy a bunch of beets, you can chop off the leafy green tops, sauté them with a little oil, and serve them as a side dish. It feels resourceful. It feels traditional. But for an aging kidney, beet greens represent the ultimate double threat. They are incredibly high in the crystal formers, the oxalates, and they are simultaneously loaded with the heavy electrical minerals, the potassium. I want you to imagine your kidneys as a veteran post office sorter. He has been working at the post office for 40 years. He knows exactly what he is doing. He is wise, he is efficient, but he is a little older, and he moves at his own steady pace. Usually you hand him one bag of mail, and he sorts it beautifully. But eating a plate of beet greens is like walking up to his desk at 1 minute before 5 o'clock and slamming down 2 incredibly heavy, complicated bags of mail at the exact same time. One bag is full of crystals, the other is full of electrical minerals. It is just too much. The system gets overwhelmed. The sorter has to stop working efficiently just to manage the chaos. If you do this to your body week after week, that veteran sorter is going to burn out. Now, before we look at the comforting vegetables that give your system a much-needed rest, I need to make a very clear agreement with you. What we are discussing today is biological education. It is not a medical prescription. If you are currently taking blood pressure medication, if you are on potassium-sparing diuretics, or if your physician has already placed you on a strict, customized renal diet, you do not change those instructions without their direct approval. We're talking about adjusting your grocery list, not abandoning your medical care. In fact, I want to give you something deeply practical. Have you ever felt rushed in the doctor's office? Have you ever sat on the crinkly paper of the exam table, watching the doctor put their hand on the doorknob ready to leave, and realized you forgot everything you wanted to ask? You need a script. Write this down on a sticky note and put it in your wallet right now. At your next visit, you're going to say these exact words. Doctor, I would like to check the current speed of my kidneys. Can we run a test for my eGFR, my serum creatinine, and my potassium levels? Let me explain those letters. eGFR stands for Estimated Glomerular Filtration Rate. Do not worry about pronouncing the big medical words. Just say the letters eGFR. This test is your kidney's speedometer. It is a simple blood test that tells the doctor exactly how fast your nephrons are successfully cleaning your blood. A higher number means the coffee filter is running fast. A lower number means the filter is slowing down. When you ask for this specific test, you change the dynamic in the room. You stop being a passive patient who just nods along. You become an active manager of your own longevity. You take the guesswork out of your health. Now, let us take a deep breath. Hearing about all these hidden stressors can feel incredibly heavy. It can make you feel like your kitchen is a minefield. You might be sitting there thinking, well, what on earth am I supposed to eat? Am I just supposed to live on boiled ice cubes and plain white rice for the rest of my life? Absolutely not. Food is not just fuel. Food is memory. Food is family. Food is comfort. You do not have to surrender the joy of eating just to protect your organs. You just need to swap the heavy lifting for a gentler touch. Let us look at 4 wonderful, kidney-friendly vegetable choices that taste incredible and allow your internal filters to finally relax. Hero choice number 1 is fresh green beans. When you have to remove the massive, heavy piles of winter squash or potatoes from your plate, your meals can suddenly look very small and very sad. You need a comfort crunch. You need something that fills the plate, provides warmth, and gives you a satisfying texture. Green beans are brilliant for this. They are incredibly low in potassium, meaning they do not drop an electrical burden onto your heart rhythm. They have a very gentle, easily digestible fiber profile. You can steam them until they are tender. Toss them in a small pan with a drop of olive oil and a dash of black pepper, and you have a vegetable that feels substantial without punishing your filtration system. They are the perfect, safe side dish. Hero choice number 2 is zucchini and summer squash. This is what I call the volume swap. One of the hardest parts of altering your diet after 60 is the feeling of restriction. You sit down to dinner and you are still hungry. You want a massive portion, but you are afraid to eat it. Zucchini is your answer. Because zucchini is primarily made of structured, natural water, it carries an incredibly low mineral burden. You can eat a massive, overflowing bowl of roasted zucchini without putting any serious pressure on your nephrons. It acts as a gentle, hydrating flush for your body. You can spiralize it to look like noodles. You can slice it into thick rounds and bake it, or you can chop it into a warm stew. It absorbs whatever flavor you cook it in. It fills your stomach completely, and it leaves your kidneys completely unbothered. Hero choice number 3 is onions and shallots. What is the hardest part about cooking when your doctor has told you to cut back on salt? The answer is usually depression. A life without salt feels like a life without flavor. Everything tastes like wet cardboard. People lose their appetite, they stop eating enough protein, and they become frail. Onions are the ultimate flavor rescuer. When you slowly caramelize an onion in a pan, or when you gently sweat a diced shallot, you create a deep, rich, savory foundation that tricks the brain into thinking the food is heavily seasoned. You get the pungency and the warmth that salt usually provides, but with zero sodium burden. Furthermore, onions contain a gentle, natural compound called quercetin. This is a brilliant biological ally that naturally supports the health of your tiny blood vessels, keeping the circulation to your kidneys open and relaxed. You bring back the joy of cooking, and your body thanks you for it. Hero choice number 4 is the simple radish. Radishes are often ignored, pushed to the side of the salad bar, or forgotten entirely, but they are a secret weapon for an aging system. They are incredibly cheap, available in every grocery store, and they provide a sharp, peppery bite that wakes up a tired palate. More importantly, they are exceptionally low in both potassium and oxalates. If you are missing the crunch of heavy, salted potato chips, try taking a fresh radish, slicing it very thin, and keeping it in a bowl of ice water in your fridge. When you want a snack, they are crisp, deeply hydrating, and completely safe for your renal system. You can even roast them in the oven just like small potatoes. When roasted, their spicy bite completely disappears, and they become soft, sweet, and incredibly comforting. Which of those 5 heavy workload vegetables has been hiding in your weekly routine? And which of these 4 gentle heroes are you going to try cooking this week? Now, I want to give you one final powerful tool. I do not want you walking around your kitchen with a calculator. I do not want you buying a digital gram scale to weigh your food. That is miserable. Instead, I want you to use the plate swap visual rule. It is a matter of simple geometry. When you serve yourself dinner tonight, look down at the physical circle of your plate. I want you to draw an imaginary line right down the middle. The entire left half of that plate, 50% of your meal, should be the volume swap. Fill that whole half with your zucchini, your green beans, your radishes, or a light cucumber salad. This is your safe zone. You can eat this until your stomach is completely full and satisfied, knowing that the water content is actually helping your kidneys flush out waste. Now look at the right side of the plate. Cut it in half again. The top quarter is your clean, high-quality protein. A piece of baked chicken, a fillet of fish, or an egg. The bottom quarter is where you put your starchy comfort. If you absolutely love a heavy winter squash, Or if you simply must have a spoonful of rich, concentrated sauce, it goes in this tiny quarter section. By using the plate swap rule, you are practicing the ultimate law of kidney health. Dilution is the solution to pollution. The massive volume of water in the safe vegetables physically dilutes the heavy mineral impact of the small starchy quarter. Your blood sugar stays stable, your stomach stretches and signals to your brain that you are full, and that veteran post office sorter inside your body only receives a perfectly manageable stack of mail. You do not have to live in fear of your food. Getting older does not mean your body is failing you. It just means your body is speaking a slightly different language, and now you finally have the dictionary to translate it. Every time you choose a lighter vegetable, you are taking a heavy bag off your own shoulders. Every time you arrange your plate to dilute the workload, you are sending a quiet, powerful thank you note directly to the organs that have kept you alive for over 6 decades. You have the power to make your next meal a healing one. You have the exact words to take to your doctor. You have the knowledge to protect your flow rate. If this biological breakdown gave you a sense of relief and a clear path forward, please leave a comment and tell me which vegetable you are going to swap out tonight. Make sure you hit the subscribe button so you never miss another guide to your own longevity. Thank you for trusting me with your time. You are doing a wonderful job taking care of yourself. I will see you in the next senior health sessions.